Hi students, let's complete what we started yesterday with our new unit, Unit 3, which is about the future, and we're going to see the title of our unit here, What Will They Think of Next? So just to give you some positive, here some kind of thing just to think about, we have here a quotation which is create your future, make things happen. So when you believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that something is possible, you can do it by yourself, you can achieve whatever you want, but you have to just focus and try your best. Yes. Now let's just revise very quickly the words that we took yesterday, the vocab. So we have here circuit, condensed, determined, extensively, span, and rank. And we have here the two pictures that we took or we discussed yesterday with their meanings, actually, if you can read them. So to revise them very quickly, we have here the first one, condensed, which means shortened. And we have the second one, extensively, which means covering a wide range or area. The four other words that we have here, circuits, which are paths for electrical currents, span, which means to extend across, and we have determined, which means decided on something. Which leaves us to the last word that we have, the word rank. Now rank, as we have here, is a position in an ordered group. It can be a military rank, it can be just a competition rank. So anything that has some kind of order is ranked. Okay, now we have the questions that I asked you to answer yesterday. So 3 are directly from the passage I said, or from the text, and 2 are a point of view. Now, moving on, we can see that we have the first question. What was the average life expectancy in 1900? So here we have, this is the average, but instead of just taking the answer from the text, we are going to just rearrange our answer and write it in a more formal way. And we have here the answer is going to be the average life expectancy in 1900 was 35 years. The second one, what predictions did the author make about the English language? Have they come true? So do you remember yesterday we talked about the language? There are many predictions that we passed by. So we have here, for example, this is the first, this is the second, and we had maybe 4 predictions that we passed by. So which means that we can just organize our answer and say, we have here, he thought there would be no C, X, or Q. Spelling would be by sound. The language would be condensed. And English would be the most widely spoken language. The prediction about English being the most widely spoken language, yes, came true. We have the third question. What do you think the author was referring to when he used the term airships? So this is a simple question. Yesterday I gave you 2 point of views or 2 opinions. Maybe he thought about this or that. So we can just summarize our answer and say he was probably thinking about airplanes. Then we have the 2 questions that we have, which are just main points of view. We have here predictions in general. Choose a prediction and give an example of how it has come true, which of course means from the book. The questions that you have are related to the text that you took. So you can just choose, for an example, you can choose something else if you want. We have here automobiles have replaced all horse-drawn vehicles. And the second question, which prediction do you think is the least likely to ever come true and why? For example, there will never be tubes connecting houses to a store. This is impossible. So this is an example from your text. If you have something else in mind, you're okay with it. Now moving on, I want to just revise the vocab that we took, mentioning some of the words that we have taken in Unit 1 and Unit 2 together, but put in mind the most important thing in our all-in-one that we have taken before is the main point, which is the future. Now, while I read, I want you to connect all the words that we have taken. You will find them colored for you. But the most important thing that you have to do, which is your task, is to watch out for sentences that indicate the future. Because we are talking about the future, I am going to read, you are going to follow with me, but please just note the sentences that indicate the meaning of the future. Now we have a complete story. It is about Ahmed Abdullah. So with me, Ahmed Abdullah has a reputation of being a great electronic engineer and is ranked one of the best in town. He has excelled in providing electronic systems in houses and turns them into smart houses, which extensively provide all services needed. In fact, by the end of the month, Ahmed himself will have moved to a new house and is determined to make his house a model. Ahmed works with his friend Umar, who is also a renowned engineer and is considered legendary in his working field. Both engineers have an invaluable idea that makes homes more comfortable. They are now working on an application that can be connected to a house, and with the application, you can control everything in it. You can open the air conditioning from your phone. When you arrive, the AC will have been cooling the entire house. If you need a hot bath, just open the application and control your own bath. When you get there, the bath will have been filling and preparing the bathtub with all the aromatherapies you want without waiting. By the time Ahmed moves in his amazing house, they will have accomplished the project. And when he does, he is going to showcase the application on social platforms. They are now doing condensed maintenance on all the circuits in the house to make sure that everything is working well and that the electricity and Wi-Fi are always strong and span throughout the house, from the basement to all parts of the house. Also, after they finish, they will open the house for visitors to try out their system. Since the idea is original, they are going to present their project to an organization which gives endowments to support new ideas. But before they present it, they will make sure of every detail. Until they get approval, Ahmed and Umar will continue working to make their idea the best. So here, there are many points. First, we revised the whole 6 words that we took yesterday. Moreover, we related to words that you took in Unit 1 and Unit 2, just to remind you not to leave something back in your units. So try to relate continually and try to use them as much as you can. And the basic thing that we have here is what I asked from you, to just look up the meanings that have the future. Now we have here the 2 engineers. We have Abdullah, or Ahmed Abdullah, and we have Umar. Both of them are successful. Both of them are doing something in the present time, but they are mostly planning and working for the future. Now moving on, just to revise the things that we have, of course, the future meaning in the text. Before we start with our revision, we have here learning objectives to deduct the grammar rules from sentences. Use will have. This is a kind of hint. When we start, you can help me with it. So we have here use will have plus the past participle referring to the future perfect. Differentiate between the future perfect simple and the future perfect progressive. Use time clauses with the future tense and apply the correct form of the verb and answer questions using the future form. So mainly, we are used to using the future forms in two ways. Either to say that I will study English, or I can say I am going to study English. They are both correct, but we are going to just expand and use other tenses or other ways using, as we have here, the forms that you have will have plus the past participle, and also we have the future perfect progressive. So we will see the difference between the two types. So observing the sentences, you will notice different structures indicating the future. Now here, you can see by the end of the month, Ahmed himself will have moved to a new house. Did Ahmed move? Not yet. So he will move. When? By the end of the month. So which means that we will take this sentence for examination. Also, we have here, when you arrive, the AC will have been cooling the entire house. When you arrive, have you arrived? Not yet. So which means that we have here also will as a structure, and we are going to take it. We have here, when you get there, the oven will have been heating. It's the same idea. So both are examples. We have also here, by the time Ahmed moves in his amazing house, they will have accomplished the project. When he does, he is going to showcase the application on social platforms. Now, if you see here the meaning, we have still he hasn't moved inside, and still he hasn't presented his idea on social platforms. He's still planning. So both we're going to take. Okay, moving on, we have here, after they finish, they will open the house for visitors. Since the idea is original, they are going to present their project. Before they present it, they will make sure of every detail. Until they get approval, Ahmed and Umar will continue working. So these four examples that you have here, they all have the same grammatical meaning that indicates the future, which is will. So all of them we are going to outline just after a while. So as we said, we are going to discuss grammar here. We have here the future tense. Now, seeing here, let's just discuss these in details. We can say, first of all, Ahmed is the subject. Now, what did he do? He will have moved. They, the subject, will have accomplished. And then the AC will have been cooling and the oven will have been heating. So here, to focus on some details, first, the subject can be a person or a thing. It doesn't have to be a person. The second thing, notice that all the examples have two words. They have the helping verb, which is will, and they have also have in the sentence. Notice in the two examples that we had before, they have the past participle, which is, we have here, moved and accomplished. But note and be careful, now also we have the past participle in 3 and 4, which is been, but been here is a basic form in the sentence, and after that there is the verb, which is verb ing. So we'll see the difference here. Now here, if you can see the orange sentences, we can see, yes. Now when we start our diet, Ali will have started. When we start our diet, Ali will have started. What did you understand? Which one started first? Us or Ali? So if you think about it, when we start, Ali will have started, so he is first. So that's why Ali is going to come first. Now notice our timeline. There is nothing connected to the past, There is nothing connected to the present. It's all in the future, just to prove that Ali comes first and then we started later. Notice also that when here we start, the present simple is used for the future, and we have the present simple perfect is used also to prove that his action is first. He started before we started. So he is the first to start, and it's the same simple example that I gave before. Will, have, past participle. That's it. And then the second one, by November, Ali will have been dieting for 6 months. So we are still talking about the diet. But notice in the timeline that we have something happening in the past. There is nothing connected to the future, and we have here, or the present, sorry, and we have here, yes, the future. So what's the meaning here? What is different? The first one, both actions are in the future. They haven't happened yet, but one is before the other. The second example, one is in the past and will continue to the future, or it can indicate the focus on time. How many or how much has Ali been dieting? We can say that he has been dieting for 6 months. I am focusing on the time. So here we have the focus from the past to the future, and that's why we have here the structure is going to be the future perfect progressive, which means that I used will as before, I used have as before, but as I said, watch out, been here is not the past participle. It is a basic form, and after it we have verb ing. So we have here, this is going to be the structure of what we have. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts in the structure, which is the future perfect progressive. Moving on here. Now here also I want you to just notice something. Notice that we have the comma, 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 and here also, which means that we have 2 parts in the sentence, which means that we have 2 ideas. We have 2 clauses. Now, if you have 2 ideas, which means that we have 2 clauses, one of the clauses we are going to call the time clause. Why? Because we have, it started with when, or after, or since, or before, or until. So we have here the time clause. And with the time clause in this part, you can see that there is the present simple, does. The other part of the sentence, which is another idea, another clause, you can see that we have here, he is going to showcase the application. Still, he didn't, he is going to. So we have here going to. With after, in the time clause, we have the present simple finish. And in the other part, they will open, future clause. In the time clause, we have since, plus the present simple is. In the future clause, we have here, they are going to present. Or present, sorry. Before is a time clause. With it, we have here present. And in the future clause, we have here, they will make sure of every detail. We have until they get approval. Get is present simple with until. And in the future clause, we have here Ahmed and Umar will continue working. So here, you understood that we have 2 clauses. One is the time clause with the present simple, and the other one is the future clause. You can use either way, either to use will or going to. But note that if you use going to, you have to have before it verb to be. So here, for example, he is going to. They are going to present. And also note that either you use will or going to, the verb, the basic verb, has to be in the base form. There is no ing, there is no addings. So just in general, we have here our table. So the first one, you can see that the future perfect simple has will, have, and the past participle. It goes with singular or plural, it's okay. Will, have, been, plus verb ing, 4 parts, which we said is for the future perfect progressive. And also it goes with singular or plural, it's okay. We have also the regular or the original that we know that we have here going to. Now we know that we have to use verb to be, is and am with the singular and are for the plural, and with them we have the base form. We have also will plus the base form, and it takes also singular or plural. And the last one we have here the time clause and the future clause. Now you can see that we have here when, before, after, while, until, and since. They all take the subject plus the simple present. And in the other part we have here the future clause, which is the subject using either going to or will, and with the base form. And just to note for you, the sentence order may change. You can put the time clause in the beginning or the second part. It's okay, there's no difference. So we have here, these are the tables that you have. Now you have in the book many exercises that you can focus on, and I will go back and revise. I just want you to take your time. You have here 5 grammar rules. As I said, the present perfect simple, the present perfect progressive. We have here using will, we have using going to, and we have using time clauses. So go back to your books. You have here page number 36 and also page 37. Just take a look at the exercises. They are open. You can answer any kind of answer that you want, but you have to stick to the main structure that they ask about for you. So we will go back to it in the next lesson, inshallah. So take your time and focus on your work.